What's up everyone, this is Harsh, aka Senior Data Analyst, back with another video. Today we will be covering how to build a dashboard in Tableau from start to finish the right way. I will also cover how to format your dashboard, which is not something other channels will show you how to do, because building a functioning dashboard is step one, but making it look aesthetically pleasing is also an important step. So here we are going to first import our data set, and here we have a Kings County House data set that we're going to analyze here and create a dashboard. We have the following columns here, which is the price, as well as the bedrooms, bathrooms, square feet living space, and then we have a bunch of other columns here as well we can filter through. The number of floors, the year the house was built, the zip code, latitude and longitude. So we will be using this data set to create a dashboard. We're going to have filters in our dashboard as well as a line chart, as well as a geographic map chart as well, using that latitude and longitude column that we have provided in this data set. So first, we need to build our worksheets in order to build a dashboard. So we go down here and we go to our first sheet. And then next, we are going here to build, we are going to build a line chart for this worksheet. And the line chart that we want is the average home price by the year it was built. So in order to do that, we are going to add in the year built column, so which is right here. And we are just going to add it to rows for now. Actually, this should belong in columns. And then we also want the average price. So right now this is based off the sum price. We want to do the average, so we're just going to switch it up to average. Tableau automatically figures out what kind of chart you may be interested in. You do have the capability of changing that here. However, Tableau chooses the best chart based off the fields that you provide. And in this case, Tableau chose a line chart. So all we're going to do here is change our title. So we're just going to call it average, average home price year built for now. So we'll just name this chart that. Now this just gives a name to the chart when we have it on the dashboard, so it kind of gives a description rather than having an arbitrary chart on your dashboard with no description of what it is. So this is going to be our first chart that we're going to create. We are also going to add filters to this chart as well. So we also want to add the number of bathrooms, and we're just going to click add all. We also want to look at the number of bedrooms for all these houses. And we also want to filter through the number of floors that we have in all of these houses. And lastly, we would also want to filter the square footage of the house as well. So these are going to be the filters that we'll use. Now these filters right now are currently set to this chart only. We will cover how to have these filters interact with multiple worksheets that we're going to create here. So one important thing to do before moving on to the next sheet, you would want to rename the sheet that you just created to have a description of what is in this sheet. This will be important when we create our dashboard, so you know what you want to add to the dashboard. So we'll just call it the same thing as our title, and then we'll create a new sheet, and in this sheet we're going to be creating a geographic map. And to do that, you would need your latitude as well as your longitude values. So in this data set, we have that provided. So we're just going to drag this to the columns and then drag the longitude to the rows. Now you can see that Tableau doesn't know that these are latitude and longitude values. So they are averaging these values. This doesn't make sense for our purposes, so we're going to change it to a dimension for both. Now this is still not the chart that we want. We want a geographic map of the United States of where these houses are located. So our issue here is that this should be on the columns and this latitude should be in the rows. And then Tableau automatically found out that these are latitude and longitude values for a map, and it plotted them based off their location. Now we also want to add in different colors for this. Right now we have the same color for every single house on this map. So we are just going to add in price. And as you can see right now, there's no new colors that are showing up on this map. What we want to see is different colors for expensive houses or different shades for cheaper houses. So in order to do that, we already have our price column here. We are just going to add this to as color. So next, what we're going to do is we are going to title our worksheet, and we'll just title it Geographic Map by Price. So there we go. We also that also changed our title for our chart. So now we're going to build our first dashboard. And in order to do that, we're not going to click the new worksheet option here. We're going to move to the right and click new dashboard. Now this is where you'll have your dashboard interface, and you can see our two sheets here. And this was kind of why I mentioned before that you should title your pages and your worksheets so that when you are building your dashboard, you can refer back to it as well. So we're going to add our first dashboard here to the sheet, and you can see that it fills up the whole page. Generally, you typically don't want that. You want to be able to control where this would be. As you can see right now, Tableau would assign the layout of the dashboard into tiles. However, we can control where those tiles are going to be by just clicking the drop down here and clicking floating. And then we can do the same to this one. Just click floating. And now these will float to wherever you want them to be. So we want the organization to be this on the bottom, our map. We'll just have that fill up the whole bottom half just to make it look nice and cool. We can make this a little bit bigger. We'll just move our price color gradient down a little bit. This has to be in floating as well. And we'll make this a little bit bigger. So we can change this to a selection as well, so we can toggle on the map. Now we'll add in our filters. In Power BI, they're called slicers. In Tableau, they're just called filters. So we added them, as you recall, we added them to this chart here. Now these filters will only interact with this chart right now when we add them to our dashboard. but we can change that. So all we need to do here, we can just close this one out. All we need to do here is add in our filters. So there we go. So we want to add in the number of bathrooms. We'll move that up here. We also want to add in the number of bedrooms. And we also want to add in number of floors. We'll just place them up there for now. And then we will also add in square feet living as our last filter. So all of these will just be hovering here for now. Just move them across. And you can place them wherever you'd like. So right now, these filters will only interact with this, but we also want the filters to interact with our map as well. So when we filter on the number of floors, we can also filter out in this map the houses with that number of floors that we'd like to see. So if I show you right now, we want to filter down to 2.5 floors. So we actually should change this. Typically, the number of floors is just going to be the number of floors there is. There's no 2.53 number of floors. And so to do that, we can just go, we can just go to all data and then keep this. So one issue that we're having here is going to be that you cannot have a decimal point in the number of floors, as well as you cannot have, you know, a decimal point in the number of bathrooms that you have, for example. So we need to change these. Right now, Tableau is reading them as a measure, so it is automatically keeping them as decimal values. However, we need to change that to a whole number and just filter on the values that exist within the database without any uh, decimal points in here. So we're just going to get rid of these for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the chart that has these filters applied to them. And we're going to come in here and then change this to a discrete column. And we're just going to select all the different types. And we're going to change each one to a discrete. Select all. And last one, select all. And we'll go back to our dashboard now. And we will add in those filters again. And you'll see this time they will come in as all the values that exist within the database. However, this is a long list. We just want to slim that down a little bit, so we will just show them as a drop down. However, since you can only have one number of bathrooms per house, a house can only have either 3 bathrooms or 2 bathrooms or 1 bathroom. It can't have multiple types. We have a single selected here. Just make that smaller. Don't want this to be filtered on anything for now. However, you can see when I filter on 1 bathroom, you can see that the map here is not changing. This point is it's been selected. We just need to deselect that. You're not seeing anything change in the map as I toggle through the number of bathrooms. We will change that, of course, to have it interact with both. So we're going to add in the rest of our filters here. We have the number of bedrooms, and we also want to add in the number of floors. And we'll also make all of these single select with a drop down. Single select. And we'll just add these to the corner up here. So this is the template of our dashboard right now. We will change these to be able to interact with the map as well, so that we can see the average price of a home based on the year that it was built, and where that house is located on the map, based off the number of bathrooms that we want, the number of bedrooms, as well as the number of floors. So in order to have this interact with both of these, we can just click the drop down here, and then we will set the controls. So in order to have this interact with all types of our worksheets on this dashboard, we'll click selected worksheets, and we'll just click the sheets that we want. Right now we only have two, since the filter is already on the average home price within that worksheet. It's automatically selected. However, we need to add in the geographic map by price as well. And we'll do that for each one here. Apply to worksheets, selected worksheets, and then we'll select our worksheets that we also wanted to filter through. There we have it. Now if I filter 2 bathrooms, you'll see changes down here as well. Let's go back to 0, because you'll see very few number of houses with 0 bathrooms. We can see that this bathroom is at $484,000, and it only has 0 bathrooms in there. There. Now we have the average home price, by the year it was built, as well as the geographic map, where we can filter through the number of bathrooms, the number of bedrooms, as well as the number of floors. So in the next part, we are going to format our dashboard. There may be cases where you need to change the layout in order to meet the demands of your company, your client, senior management, whoever the audience for your dashboard is. You may want to change the formatting of this. This right now, what we have is Tableau's basic white background with no colors in this. So if we have a gray background, we work at an organization where gray is one of the colors that's used within presentations, PowerPoint, Tableau. Um, so we want to kind of make it similar to the formatting that's used in other stuff. So in order to do that, we are going to click Format up top, and we want to format this dashboard. So we click Dashboard, and let's change the shading of the background to a gray. As you can see, it is no longer white anymore. It will make it a little bit darker just to make it a little bit noticeable. However, you can see that this chart here is still white, and we want to change that to our gray color as well. So just to match the background that we have. So we just right click our axis first. We'll click Format, and we want to change that shading to the gray that we have. And if I click off this, you can see that now it's got that same background. We're going to do the same thing here to the y-axis. And we'll click off of it, and now you can see that we have a gray background as well. If you want to continue changing the format, you can do the same thing, and we'll just go to our fill. We'll just change the whole worksheet there to a gray, and that'll get the remaining spots that were white. So now you can see that we have changed the formatting, and we've created two worksheets which we've added to this dashboard as well. And then we added filters to this chart, and then changed those filters to interact with other sheets within our dashboard as well. And then we changed the colors of our dashboard to kind of match the theme that we would like based off our audience. That is all I had for you all today. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of my videos.